Yo, check, check.
Hello, hello, hello. So
Eh,
this is not a stream. I'm just going to go out right out and say it that we ever planned on doing, ever thought we would be doing, or anything like that. And I see some people in the chat, guys. This is a tough one. This is very difficult for both Bomb and I to go over. And I'm just going to be honest, Baum was just apprehensive about doing it at all because he's like, what good is it actually going to do to do this and kind of have that response? But we had a long conversation about it and just felt with some of the things that were being said that are untrue, that we should probably say something. I mean, one of our things is we don't want to badmouth anyone. We'd like to be as positive as we can be and just as direct and transparent and just go from there. And as Sander indicated in his message, um, we did have a signed agreement with Hello, and as part of that signed agreement, saying any kind of disparaging comments about Hello, like on our way out, is not allowed. And so whenever that's the case, like we try to just stay away from any kind of doing that sort of stuff. But I mean, in this case, when there is character assassination, we're allowed to respond to that. So here's a couple of things that we're not going to do on this conversation. We're not going to bring up a host of new things. We're not going to indicate it's not going to be a bash session. So if people feel like that is what they want to see or they want the dirt or something like that, that's just not going to happen. That's not how we operate, and that's not something that I feel like is beneficial at all, because like we've indicated, we are not in Hello right now. And so I think the people that are in Hello, they just want to move forward, and we want that ability to be done there. We're just going to reference the things that have been said about us that are just not true. So with that, I don't think like I think that's everything to lead in.
yeah, I'll
We're,
just
we're, we're
say.
gonna
Oh, go ahead.
we're just going to cover a couple of things. It's going to be the message that was posted, and we're going to do, hey, here's why we sold, and here's why we sold, how we sold,
Yeah,
and because those are the questions that I think people have questions about, and we're just going to provide some clarity there on that. But go ahead, Bomb. What were you going to
yeah.
say?
No, I was just gonna pretty much echo. Like, I did not. It's been said I didn't want to make this. I didn't think we needed to, but he was getting flooded with messages and texts, and we just feel like again, like maybe this is the thing to do. Again, there's no like I don't hate anybody. Like we're just trying to be like people that spread positivity and joy, and so like that's where I'm at and with everything. And so I thought, I mean, Finn wanted to do this, and here I am. And if somebody's dragging my name kind of through, I don't know, whatever's going on, I'm like, shoot, all right, like we can do it. Again, it's just want to clear the name and get clean and free from this in my eyes. So I got to start
Yeah.
training. I got to start getting my half marathon training on. I got my dumbbell. I'm like, dude, it's time to start working out, but that's just
Yeah,
me.
so I
So
and that is very accurate. I appreciate you doing this, Bomb, because I know Bomb was just kind of like, dude, it's not even worth it. It's like they're all the OGs that like reached out to us and they're like, dude, we know, like
yeah, it's
we
like
don't need you to go. And even I will say this, a lot of them were like super like supportive in the fact that they're like, dude, we know that's what's being said is not true,
yeah,
just because we followed you guys for years. And as you're gonna see, a lot of the stuff that was said, like I feel like if he actually knew us a little bit better, those things wouldn't be said because he would know those couldn't be the case. But
yes.
we'll just dive right into it.
Let's
So
do it.
I
Let's
don't know if
make
you
it
want to
quick
pull
and
up.
quick and short and easy.
Yeah,
And appreciate you guys for tuning in. This is mostly just a video. I think we're making to where we can just point people to when they message us at this point. So
yeah, and it's like, hey, look, yeah, we're gonna just there's the response, and like we know a lot of people have said that, look, I'm not gonna appear in the thing because I don't want my name in there, and I like we encourage that. Like,
yeah,
do not put your name because we don't want anyone to be like blocked or like we've been blocked from the Telegram, and we don't want that to be anyone else. And so that's another reason, by the way, we saw responses coming in and were like tagging us. We weren't gonna respond there because we knew if you respond and you say any kind of whatever, your message is getting deleted and you're getting blocked. And so
yeah.
you lose like any chance to have any kind of dialogue anyway.
All
So
right.
Anyway,
Let's
let's
do
get
it.
right to it.
Here we go.
All right.
Yeah, you lead this, and then I can move
All
over.
right, I'll go ahead. So here's the message. And again, this is not going to be a bash session for those that want like a bunch of new stuff brought up. We're not going to do that. Like I have to say this. We're going to end with a couple of really like neat things that we're actually seeing from Sander and the team. And so like I want that to be the go forward. I just want to clarify some of this stuff, and I'm going to give grace and assume that some things were said that maybe didn't have the best intentions, but also could have been misled in some ways. So I'll just get right to it. So Sanders said here, well, I definitely didn't sell a single token, not recently, not since 2024, maybe. And then at the end of the message, if you actually look, he said red flags popped up from various community members after we announced they were leading the studio effort, mentioning they had dumped on the community before. Guys, this is highly documented from us that we haven't been in Hello for 18 months, during which the height of it in like 2024, we did systematically sell, which we posted on Twitter, like, hey guys, just make sure like with any crypto project, you're taking profits. Like it's important to do. We were celebrating people that were kind of changing their lives and all of that stuff. And we were not saying one thing and then doing another. We were some people that, over that course of that 2024 space, we were slowly, liquidating, because as we said when we first came back, and at that time, we didn't see the next token utility coming. We didn't see the next thing. So again, I know we don't have to justify that, but I'm just wanting you guys to know that he's referencing that as a dump here. And I think it's interesting that he said, okay, I also sold tokens in 2024. And we're just going to take him at his word that that's all it is. But even so, it's funny that it's a dump for us with a much smaller bag over a long period of time. And for him, he can just sell the tokens and it's like, it's not even referenced as anything. So anyway, that's interesting. Setting up a buying bot, guys. This right here, we have.
I got this one. I think. I think from here on, the whole setting up a buying bot, I think it's very clear from every single stream that has taken place that I have no possible technical mental ability to figure this out, and that is just the fact of it. I'm not even that intelligent.
Guys.
I'm losing hundreds of dollars on gas fees because I'm not even smart enough to do it. So that, like, I appreciate the fact that you think that I have that ability.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if he knows us a little bit better, like, I think he would know that, like, we don't know how to do a buy bot. The second thing is, like, he's saying he had screenshots. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt here. Like, yes, it's coming out like he's saying that we're BSers and liars, and I don't appreciate that, but I'm willing to bet that someone probably reached out to him and said, like, here's a screenshot proving that they'd set up a buy bot, and he probably just took that at face value and just said, because I want to give him the benefit of the doubt here, but that's the reality, guys. That's the reality. If there's a screenshot, Sander, post it on social media and tag me. Like, I mean, honestly,
you can see our wallets too. There's nothing special about
curious. How we do it. I'm just curious, like, what you think you have there when we don't even know what that is. And then lastly, with the buying bot, like, is that even like a negative? Like, isn't a buying bot supposed to be purchased? Wouldn't it be like a buy sell bot or a sell bot? I don't know that kind of stuff, but like, isn't a buying bot just a purchase? Like, wouldn't that be I don't even understand how that matters. But anyway, if you just post whatever you have. We have some comments here that said you came back recently in Telegram on a high. Yeah, so this is a big thing where you're going to see. We're going to cover that. We're going to cover that and what caused that shift for us. He says here bought tokens at the lowest. So this is just also not true. Yeah, if you look at the chart, you can see that we did, and this is all, you can audit this on the blockchain, by the way, everyone can see this. But we sold, I just want to put this into perspective, we sold lower than the lowest part we bought in at. So I'm just going to say that, like let that sink in. Like, he's saying we bought at the lowest. The start of our sale, and we wanted to do this, as you're going to find out, in a way that is as above board. We'll
get to that on the Saturday thing.
We'll get to that in just a second, but basically, if you look at you can look at the blockchain, you can see where we purchased, and we purchased between this range recently, but it was between like 0.185 and 0.132. And our selling was from 0.18 to 0.10. So the like just you can see that on the blockchain. This isn't like anything that you guys can't audit or whatever, but there it is. You guys can go ahead and check that out. And yes, to those who have asked us, we did lose tens of thousands of dollars. That's not even important. Okay, so we get that we provided exit liquidity for people and all that stuff. That's fine. Like we're not like upset about that. Like we just figured, hey, after some of these things, like it's just better to be out than it is to go through this. And in selling, we'll get to why we sold that way. But then he says,
Asked everyone to come back in. Finn.
no, hold on. Oh, yeah. Asked everyone to come back in. Sure, we can do this. So we sent messages to OGs, and there's an asterisk here because I realized last night there was a second batch that I sent it out to, but I sent out a lot of DMs to OGs, just letting them know that we were back. I didn't say anything like, come back and invest at this time or whatever. I just said, hey, we're back, and here's what we're trying to build. We're trying to build this studio concept. We're very excited about it. We think it's a great idea. That it was our idea,
by the way.
We still think it's a great idea. And just so you know, Sander, like going forward, don't worry if there's any like, oh, hey, like this is their IP or something like that. Like I'm all for like you guys using it to better the Hello community and all of that stuff. I just want that to be very clear. Like just because we're not a part of it, like if you guys, and I don't know, we didn't talk about that beforehand, Bob, but like that's something that I know we both wish what's best for Hello and the Hello community, and that is part of what goes into that, I think. But anyway, what you had said, you said that we invited other people. Yeah, so we did message other OGs and we said, hey, we're back. We're building this studio thing and we're excited about the concept. We think it could be, pretty exciting. Just check it out and see if you want to do that. So when this all went south, and we messaged all the OGs right away, and I'm saying there's an asterisk because there's two, Crypto Gem Hunter and CH. Both of you, don't worry, I saw your messages, or I didn't see your messages, you didn't message me about this, but these are two people that I don't know if they invested back in, but if they did, the same thing applies because guys, before this message even emerged, like a day after, and you can also audit this on the blockchain, see all this, we actually reimbursed and paid back people that had invested that had lost money that were OGs that we had sent these DMs to. So again, we didn't do all of that from this wallet, but you'll see like there's a transaction for $730, for example, and you're going to see that was an OG holder that held and, from the OG days. So that's just, again, we weren't going to talk about this or say any of this stuff, but when they're saying things like that just aren't true, that's something that we're going to say there.
Yeah.
But anyway, the reality for me personally, and people are like, wait, really? I lost this last go around about 60% of my wallet that I reinvested in. Again, that's not an issue. I'm not like upset with that. I just wanted to be out. But I think the implication here is that we bought at the bottom and then we dumped on the community making money. And you're going to see that that's exactly like the exact opposite of what happened.
Yeah.
And even after that, we messaged the OGs and said, hey, when we said our name was here and we personally messaged you via DM, if you had invested in this and you lost money, hit me up and I'll send you over, tokens. And the crazy thing about this, and we got actually a lot of messages back, most of the people that we messaged said, nah, dude, you're good. Like, don't even worry about it. I know who you are, and that's not even something like we had one person, and you'll know who you are by me saying this, but he's like, dude, I'm a big boy, and I know this wasn't your problem. He's like, I knew not to go into this belief. He's like, I trust you, but that's where it kind of stopped with me. And it stopped with me in the OG days as well. So anyway, let's keep that moving. But just so you guys know, So let me see. You guys would have
Pump dump at the
Pump.
last pump. Yeah, I mean, if we were smart, we would have sold at the top, is what was assumed, right? But we
Yeah,
didn't. We
I mean,
waited till the
that's a
price to go
great point,
back
right?
down to where we lost more money. It's
Yeah,
exactly
to
right.
where it was again, I'm telling you guys, where I started investing, I can't speak for other people on this or anything like that. Like I trust Bomb as well, but I can't speak for other people. Where we started investing and went from like 185 up to like 132 is where like us just putting our stuff in, at that it was massive run, right? Because of how we bought in. Where we sold was below where our initial point was from the start of selling. So in no way was this like, oh, we're going to like do, and
They
again,
get
we're going
it.
to get to
They
that.
get it.
They
Here
get
we
it.
go.
Um,
This
all right.
I
So
don't think
then
we need to
there's,
address the personally spend 20 BNB. We all spent
well, I
money.
just, no,
Like,
I know, but I think that's funny, right? He's like, we personally bought in at the bottom. And then he's like, I personally spent. So he's saying you also bought in at this, like saying, well, like, what does that say? You're saying I also personally bought in at this time.
I don't know.
Self, I just
Other
don't
people
get that.
came
Like,
in. I don't really know what that means.
um,
We talked to people to get like people like he just said, like Finn just said, people came in
yeah,
and whatnot. Like
and
that's
again, we messaged all of those people that we sent DMs to.
yeah,
We sent DMs to a ton of OGs, and we messaged every single one, with the exception of those two people. Like I said, they were part of a more recent one where I was like, oh, I forgot on this platform, I didn't reach out to
yeah.
them. So I will message you guys, just so you know.
They
They
dumped their
dumped their
position on Saturday morning.
Okay, we're gonna jump in here, and again, as Sander said, we did have there's certain, let's just get into why we sold, because I think saying we dumped on a Saturday morning, we'll just say why we sold and then why we sold, how we sold. Okay, and we're going to keep it very generic because again, this is not a bash session. We're not going to reveal a bunch of things that there's a lot of things that we could talk about. We're not going to do that. We're just going to respond to this message, and we're just going to put it behind you, kind of a thing. Okay, like, and again, anyone that follows us, like if you have seen over the years, we always like to operate with a spirit of transparency and honesty and integrity, and that's what we believe in. We believe if you do that and you put out good products and you work hard, like that, it's just a matter of time before good things start coming back, and like people are, that whole thing. So what he said at the end of the message, and I'll just say this, he said, done with those BSers and people behave like scumbags. There's another message where he's like liking it, and he's saying, you know there someone else said scammers, and he like did a handshake on that message, and he said another message, disappointed by their commitment to the community. It would be humorous if it wasn't so sad, but like the inverse of all of those is actually true. There's like a psychologist term called projection, which is like where people take what is kind of true of them and they project it to the outside. And I'm not saying any of that in this case, other than the fact that like he's calling us BSers. We're just showing you like that this stuff is where it's not true. And the other the other thing that he's saying is like disappointed by their commitment to the community. We had a feedback call with him, which you guys can even check the pin notes if this isn't taken down already. So you might have to run to the Telegram to do that at this stage.
Yeah.
But if you check, like it's like 3 pinned messages ago where he said just had a great feedback call with Finn and Bomb. For those of you who have been in the Telegram, you know that message existed. So that was a week before we left. And here's what we're not going to do too. We're not going to show any messages or screenshots of any messages from Sander. I think that's tacky, and we're not going to do that. So any message, like there's no messages that are going to be from Sander. We're not going to, like, that's just not the way that we're going to go about this. So we're just going to show you our messages, and then we're going to fill in, some of the gaps there. But the commitment to community transparency was one of the big things that we indicated when we first came back in, that had to be a priority. We had to operate with honesty and integrity. And then you can go to the first thing there, Bomb, the next like image there, I guess.
There you go.
But this was kind of leading up to this was, as you can see, this was like a week, 2 weeks before. And like we're just trying to get like feedback and have like consistent messaging. And one of the big things was we both run our own companies, and we know like there's a standard of professionalism that needs to be there, and when you're just not getting the response and like you're not able to like work with someone, it's hard to build, especially when we first came back. It was more implied that there were more people that were on the team, even though it was a core team, right? It was a skeletal crew. He did say that. But it became a little bit transparent that like when he was not there with certain things, like a lot of stuff didn't get uh, pushed along. And so, like, you can go to the next message. So, like, this was something like where, and then bomb. This is again, this is just the last 2 weeks, guys. There's a loads of stuff before this, but we're not going to do that whole thing. But bomb kind of got like a little bit aggravated there
I get
because
aggravated. We can move on
yeah,
from
no.
that.
Go back to it. Go back to it. But like the whole thing there, and I do have to amend it. The number there is not 100%
That's true.
correct. Yeah, it was less than that, but so sorry, I don't want to mislead anyone with that. It
I
was
calculated the numbers wrong. It's just on
yeah,
me. I calculated the numbers wrong.
it's okay.
That's
It's
just me.
okay. But
I'm
it's not, it was not quite that amount.
it
So
wasn't.
but here's the deal, like with this, like a lot of people were asking about the whole Mexi situation and like wanting just clarity and feedback. And there was just, and you guys know this, up until a week ago, which I've gotten notes from people saying Sander has been a lot more transparent and he's like responding to people in the Telegram, which awesome. But anyone that was around for like months before that, you guys knew that wasn't the case. And that was something that was frustrating a lot of people where they're like, hey, I just want some feedback on this. And so Bomb sent this message and was like, dude, this is like, he hopped on separately with me and he's like, dude, if this was any one of our clients, like we would have fired them a long time ago if they were even paying us. And like, we're investing in this and we're trying to build something with our own time, not getting, paid unless we help this grow to like a
Yeah.
massive amount and a sustained massive amount. But like, we're not like, what is going on here? Like this is not being handled like with that
Life's too
professionalism.
busy.
So
Life's too
life's
busy
too
with what we're
busy,
doing.
and we
So
were trying to like get this going, and so
here's I
we
think
hopped
this
on a
one.
feedback. Well, yeah, you can go back to that. So we hopped on a feedback call, and during that feedback call, there were certain things that he said, revealed about Mexi and
Mm.
all that stuff. I don't even know if that's how you say it or MEXC, but basically it was uh, we don't agree with the way that the transparency or what was being said about that. And so
All
that was a big
enough said there. Um,
okay.
this is another screenshot. I think it just pretty much explains like we're trying to get in touch here, and like again, Finn said, we're doing this all for free. We're investing in it, and we want to make it grow because we love the idea, we love the community, we want to see it
Yeah.
grow. Like,
And
again,
and I
it's
will I
just
will say this. I want to specify this. So in our agreement, we specified from the get-go, and there's all the messages there for any, but like we said, we do not want anything up front. We know that Hello is in the position that it's in
yeah.
here. We would only if we're able to help it grow to certain metrics and sustain metrics and all of that stuff. We would just want like a bonus, if you will. And this bonus, just so you guys know, was a small percentage of our actual investment into it. So I think for me, it would have been like 33% of
Yeah.
what I had self-invested
All
into it. If
yeah.
we would have helped it grow to like a
A
500
massive
million
yeah.
dollar
It
might so
we
again,
that's how we work. We're all commission. We
we're
like to just
we're
go out
commission
and get
based in
our
our
get our
stuff. It's
get our
like
business.
if we
So
can help, yeah, if we can help you do X, like we're just gonna want a
yeah.
piece of what we help you get that you otherwise wouldn't have gotten without us,
But
that kind of a thing. Rather than we want a bunch of money up front, we're just gonna sit on our hands and do nothing. So
yeah.
anyway, that was
This is just
that
a
was that. And then at the end it was just like, look, we're trying. And I get that, as soon as we sold, he came out and said, hey, I've been sick, this last 4 or 5 days or whatever, but like I'm back in the saddle and ready to go. Like you can see the one from before, that was the previous week, and then that was not abnormal or unusual. And that's just, we told him this during our feedback call. We were like, look, like this is just a standard of professionalism that like if you're building something like I run a company and trying to grow it, trying to build it, and we're entering, our third year on that, and like I can't imagine like that kind of anyway, that's not important.
It doesn't
I
matter.
just
We spend a lot of time in the corporate world, and things move very fast. And we're just like, dude, we got to be moving, 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 and that's how. And we're like, I'm emailing all the time, every day, Saturdays and Sundays sometimes, where it's like, dude, clients just need stuff done, and they need it right away. And like, we're like investing time and money in this, and I would tell Finn all the time, like, dude, I can be successful working at my job, and like, if I'm not getting a response and we're not working on this, I feel like I'm losing money, cost benefit analysis, whatever it's called. Opportunity
opportunity costs,
cost
yeah.
is being wasted doing this. And that's why I was like, dude, like it doesn't make sense for me financially and where I'm at in life. And I hate to do this, but like this is what we have to do because I'm losing time, money. We're spending hours upon hours working on this and we're not getting anything for it. And so that's just how
Yeah.
that landed. So
And so just to reiterate, so why we sold, it was like that, it was that professionalism aspect. There were values that didn't align when we asked about the whole Mexi thing and the response there. There was just not a values alignment for us. And we believe in transparency, and that, yeah, that's all I'll say about that, because I don't want to,
yeah.
that
I,
one specifically wasn't, yeah. So anyway,
There's just I think there's just a lot of like we in general like dude we love to like would love to let me just put it back even further. From when we started, dude, we have been giving tokens away. We love to just love on people is really what it is and like to hang out with people and give back and we've been giving tokens away for tons of years, and then the fact that we decided, hey, let's come back one more time and give exit liquidity, that's the way I'm looking at it now. So
no, but
we both
again,
lost.
I want you guys to know though, like someone said, like you guys were super excited about it. 100%.
That's we're
Like
not lying.
super excited about the idea. Like we worked very hard on it. Like you guys can even that's just the last 2 weeks when it was like, dude, we're just not even getting a response. But like we're still like, dude, we wanna do this. And it just got to the point where it was like, man, we can't keep doing this. So now why we sold, how we sold. Some people,
Oh yeah.
this is something that some people have said, like, oh, hey, like I don't appreciate that, like you sold all at once. Here's a couple of reasons why we did it that way. So there's three actually that we talked about beforehand. Number one, we didn't want to not do what we were saying we were going to do and actually be like, oh, we're so excited about this, when we had actually come to the conclusion that like this is just it doesn't line up with our values. It doesn't line up with uh our like standards for the professionalism and all that stuff. And we didn't want to um like tell other people that we were not doing that and then use them for exit liquidity. That just did not sit right with us. And then you say, okay, well, instead of all at once, or instead of all for several months, why not just do it throughout the course of the day? Same reason. Like we didn't want to sell a little bit and then like you guys buy it back
Yeah.
up and then we sell on you and then you guys buy it back up. We said, hey, we're going to take the L, because like at the end of the day, we don't want it to be any better than it needs to be for us. We're going to make it like, and then if you guys want to buy back in when the price is at that spot, you can. But we're not gonna try to make more money or reduce our loss as we're exiting. We're just gonna exit. And the other reason is you guys track our wallets, so like because we've given away so many tokens, so we know many people like know our wallets. So we weren't going to say, hey, don't worry about it, everything's fine, as we're like selling and people are like, what the heck, like clearly you guys don't agree with something going on and you guys are like
Yeah.
liquidating, like why are you guys doing that? And then just like lie to you guys and say like, oh yeah, no, we really believe in it and like we're really working hard behind the scenes over here. And like that just
It's
wasn't what
not
we were
our
going to do.
style.
And the last thing is for this, and I'm just going to be honest, there was an amount, like, yes, we could have probably reached out to Sander here and said, hey, can you sell through like a market maker so it's not, or whatever they're called, I don't know, and so it's not linked to our wallet and the community doesn't know, but we're just going to slowly, defeat the chart, and like then it isn't linked back to us. And we were like, no, that's just so many reasons that we just explained earlier, but like
Yeah.
we're not going to do it that way because again, it's not transparent, it's not how we operate. And at that stage, we didn't want to just turn over the keys to someone that could play cards their way that we couldn't control again as well. So that's just that's just the reality there. Like, and again, that's just responding to that message. We're not going to bring in other stuff that is outside of that message. That is all we're going to respond to. We're not going to send any kind of screenshots of Sanders messages or anything like that. We're not going to do a whole on bash fest. We're just defending this singular message that was sent to us and that a lot of people were thinking, I think, might have been true just by our silence, right? Like, oh, hey, if they were really not like that, they would have said something sooner. But that's why, like, we had an agreement to not do that. It's not how we operate. We don't like to bash people on our way out. Like, we like to be transparent and honest, but we are going to be transparent and honest with the, attacks that have been made and what's been said. So again, to recap, you guys can recap that, on your own. If you guys have any questions, you can DM me, but again, I'm not going to bring up additional things or like things that were not covered in that message. I'm going to leave it generic for right now, but we just wanted to share that so that if you guys ever want a reference point for like, hey, why did we do what we did and why did we do what we did, how we did it, that's just what it is. And you guys can have that reference point because it was kind of a bummer that like we kind of felt this like I don't know if I want to get too much into this, but like it just
You
kind
don't
of
need
felt
to.
like this, like
We're
okay,
just
like
we're just this is what it is. It's life is too short. This isn't words of wisdom yet, maybe it is. Life is too short, bro. Like let's just like we've been here ever since the beginning to just love on people, and we started streaming Doge Dash back in the day because we wanted to have fun with the community, and like guys, we've
yeah.
given away so many tokens where it was like not
But it's
even
not
worth
even it's not even about that.
it's
It's like look,
I
we did
know. I know,
it,
but like
I know, and this is where Bomb and I we differ a little bit because I'm kind of like deeply just bummed because I'm like there's so much potential here and like all that jazz and like in the right hands and like there have been people that are like dude why didn't you just like do this on your own, and I'm like well first of all we just don't feel like we had the time to do it, but we ended up dedicating way more time to this than we actually anticipated just because we were like excited about the potential and like what could happen from it. But at the end of the day, yes, people are asking like, did you guys lose, a lot of money? Yeah, we lost tens of thousands of dollars, but that's
yeah.
not and then even more money that we paid back to some OGs again. Some accepted it and I have and there's nothing at all. Like I'm happy that they accepted it, but it's just funny that so many people like didn't. They're like, dude, don't even worry about it. Like I'm an adult. I can make my own decisions and like you don't have to do this. Like what are you talking about? Nobody does that. And it's
Yeah.
like I get that, but anyway, that's it guys. Like we're this is going to be our final stream. We don't want to spend a full on like drama session going forward on any of this stuff. So we're not going to do like a back and forth or anything like that. Like this is it. And we weren't even going to do this, but it became too much when it was like, dude, we can't leave our reputation on something like that with that kind of message being seen as like that was the closing chapter was that these guys were BSers and scumbags and like they're this month's scapegoat for why, hello is where it's at. And like that just that didn't sit right with me. And I felt like we at least owed it to you guys. So anyway,
If we do, we'll
that's
be playing video games or something super chill, doing some
yeah, I mean the
helping
final
hands or
hello.
something.
The final hello stream. Like
Yeah.
I would still like to do stuff where we're like, giving away presents or like in public or doing stuff like that. But yeah, we're just gonna say from this point forward, we're not going to be doing, you know, the hello route. Again, we wish people nothing but the best. Like again, I said, like I've from people have said that Sander is more responsive in the Telegram and all that stuff, and that's awesome. That's one of the reasons that we were looking at. So anyway, I'm
So it's a great topic.
not gonna dive. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know if you guys do have anything, but feel free to DM. I'll respond for a short amount of time, but then I think it's just best to like let's all just move on. Let's move forward. Let's be positive, and let's focus on those areas of our life where there's some kind of that reciprocity, you know, where it's like Bomb, you said the opportunity cost where you're like, dude, I'm doing this and I'm getting this back for like in terms of like that responsiveness and like all that jazz. And
Yeah.
you know, I just feel good about that. So anyway.
It's just too much on the plate, maybe, you know. So this is what it is. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that's about it. Pretty brief, pretty simple. Yeah, I don't usually if you guys send me a message, I send it to Finn anyways. Super sad, couldn't agree more. Again, wish everybody the best. Love to like hang out with if there's I mean, I'm sure we'll stream again eventually. I think the summer's going to be a little rough, but just to hang out with people or if there's a way that we could, if you guys know of, I personally I didn't even talk to Finn about this, but if there's something where you're like, hey, shoot me a message on something that we can do for helping hands, like there's some avenue of a thing that we can do with that, I think we'd love to jump in and like just give back to some people.
Yeah.
But,
So hold on. I'll respond to Enduro here saying, do you see anything positive for Hello? Yeah, like I said, like I think the response rate has picked up, which is good. Apparently, some people are saying that Sanders is going to be putting out a roadmap, which is good there. I think another thing of the feedback call that I didn't even get to, which was the lack of focus, which we talked about with them on having like 10 different products. Like if they're able to roadmap this out and select, like we said, you should do the Hello Studio, the Dex or the DEX, and you can have Killer Whales as like the product. But like we can't be every time the studio goes up, we're posting about bots and like you know, killer trades and all that stuff. Like it just people don't know what Hello is and they're
yeah,
like confused about it. So hopefully some of that stuff gets applied and you know, it's all good on a go forward basis. But that's our hope. We don't wish anything, you know, negative on anyone, and we just wanted to respond to that message and just make sure that like we were kind of setting the record straight when things had been said about us that just weren't accurate. So anyway, that's kind of it. We usually don't end on such a like a somber tone, but I don't I don't want to say anything or try to be anything that like we don't actually or like I don't actually feel right now. And that's kind of do how I do feel about it. So
yeah,
um
it
yeah,
is
I'm
what it
just kind of
is.
bummed. But
But hey, that's
anyway,
that. Besides that, it's Saturday for me, so I'm
it's
gonna
true. Time to work out,
time to
time
go
to
work out and
focus on what's next and
meal
what you
prep.
can build.
Yeah,
Meal
so
prep, build that summer body
that's
bomb
the. I
and
mean, we're already in summer, but might as well give it a go.
build that September
September.
September
You
November
know,
body. I
hey,
don't know.
December's coming around, and I need to. At this point, let's look at. I don't know, guys.
Not
I don't need
not
to get
being
into
Saint
my
Nick.
my.
Yeah.
Just need to get
Yeah.
out there more. Let me just put it that way. So,
Yeah, just get out there. But
yeah,
again, wishing you guys all the best. We know there's some people that were saying, "Hey, we'll catch this on replay," and we just wanted an avenue where like whenever someone messaged us, like we could just say, "Hey, like we don't want to dwell on this. We just want an area where we can like point you to." And again, like we're not going to be doing the back and forth. We just want it to be here it is, and like we're moving forward. We
yep,
just wanted to let you guys kind of know we've always wanted to be, you know, transparent as much as we can be, and honest as much as you know we're able to share certain things. So just
sweet,
gonna just gonna end with that.
love
But
it.
anyway, let us know if you guys have any questions or if you guys do want to DM us, and we can go from there. But that is
Sweet.
that.
Alrighty.
Wishing you guys the best, and we'll be doing something in the future. We're
For
gonna
sure.
be
Something.
yeah. Anyway,
Alrighty.
we'll see you guys. All right,
Peace out.
bye
See you
all.
later. Bye bye.